reconvene the April 19th, 2023 regular board meeting to order at 7:01. Chris, please call the roll.
Margaret Bartelli.
Here.
Karen Larson.
Here.
Jenny Norton.
Here.
Liz Sullivan.
Here.
Emily Swistag.
Here.
Lauren Carter.
Here.
Sarah Wynn.
Here.
Thank you. Agenda item 2, opportunity for visitors to speak. Public comment is for the general public to address the board. Each person will have up to 5 minutes to provide public comment. Any comment? Mr. Savage? Thank you. Any emails? Thank you. Agenda item 3 is trustee recognition. We have 3 resolutions on the agenda for 3 outgoing trustees. We can have a second for each resolution and have the person who made the motion please read the resolution aloud. After each resolution, there will be an opportunity to say a few words.
I move to approve resolution 23-01, Jenny Norton commendation. So if I can have Jenny's, that would be great, if someone has
I
it.
will second.
Second, thank you.
Is it here? There it is. All right, here we go. Be it resolved that the following is true and accurate. Whereas Jenny Norton has served on the Board of Trustees for the Lisle Library District since May 2019, and whereas Jenny Norton has served as treasurer of the Lisle Library District 2019 through 2023, and whereas Jenny Norton has served on the LLD Finance Committee 2019 through 2023 and has chaired the committee 2019 through 2021, and whereas Jenny Norton has served on the LLD Personnel and Policy Committee 2021 through 2023, and whereas Jenny Norton has reliably represented the district's vision, mission, and values, and whereas Jenny Norton has benefited the LLD Board of Trustees with her attention to policy and procedural detail, and whereas Jenny Norton has consistently supported fiscally responsible transactions, activities, and planning, and whereas Jenny Norton has elevated our meetings with her accounting acumen, wit, and advocacy for aesthetically pleasing finishes in the youth services area. Therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Lisle Library District that Jenny Norton be commended for her exemplary service to the district. This resolution has been adopted by the LLD Board of Trustees this 19th day of April 2023.
Would you like to say it?
Discussion?
Would you like to say anything?
Sure. I might peek at my phone where I just wrote down a couple of things so that I wouldn't miss anything that I would think about later. So I just want to start off by saying not just thank you, but something bigger to me is to sort of describe this experience as a highlight of my life so far, and I'm sure even if I live as many years as I've already lived, I would say it's a highlight the whole way through. So definitely one of the best experiences. Way more than I bargained for in almost every possible way. You know, when you think about the major decisions that you make in your life, where to live, what career path to take, family planning, all that stuff. This to me, you know, it caught me off guard. I thought this was a small decision. This is okay. I'm just gonna give back to my community. I'm just going to, you know, answer the call to what others encouraged me to do and help out. That's what I thought it would be, and it was definitely that, but it was so much more, just like motherhood is, just like other great ventures in life. It's just so much more than you expect it to be, in all the good ways and all the painful ways, but it's been great in all respects, and I just want to thank, in no particular order, all of the citizens of Lisle that helped support me from day one to get me here. And then continued to support me in my role here through their feedback, and I do mean all feedback. I might be a little bit of a glutton for punishment in that I think I may have actually appreciated the constructive feedback slightly more than the positive, because the positive is, you know, kind of, you know, you hope it's there, but the constructive takes courage and bravery, and, you know, we did get some of that, and I don't know, you know, to what extent we addressed absolutely everything, but we tried. We tried, to please everyone in the public as much as possible over these past 4 years, whether it was emails or, I think, totally brave, coming up to the microphone and doing public comment, really putting your face and your name out there. So everybody who's done that all along, truly commend them for helping to make us a better board, make me a better board member. And I want to thank everyone here that's sitting here around this table, not by name, because that's going to be a long night if I do it like that. But certainly, as well as everyone sitting here, the LLD staff, and also, director, assistant director, absolutely, and then a lot of not always sung heroes, IT personnel. I'm going to call you out, Chris Knight, by name, because you're right here, because it's not said enough. Your name's not out there enough for people to know how important you are. But there's so many people like that. Sorry, I only named one, but everyone else kind of has a spot on the website or some other place. But anyway, so external partners like Sikich and Ellers and Lauterbach and Amon and Sheehan Nagel Hartray and Camosi, and I don't know why I saved the best for last, but CCS, Mark Rogers, and we love you too, Mark, or we love you, Graham, as well. And some people that I never got a chance to meet, the people who started this library, the Lisle Women's Club, the founding board members, every board member who came here before me, because they all built this up to this point, and helped us get to where we are today. And I said public feedback, and I want to thank my family for their support, because they have put up with me doing all of this fun in hours that they would otherwise have enjoyed my time. And then I just want to say I love Lisle. I love Lisle. I love the Lisle Library District. I wasn't born here. I chose to be here, and I'm proud of that. And I'll continue to support and serve this community and this district for as long as I can. Thank you.
Nice. Roll call.
You get a motion?
Like you have here, I move to approve resolution.
You had a motion.
Okay. Roll call.
Emily Swistak.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Jenny Norton.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Lorna Turner.
Aye.
Sarah Wynn.
Aye.
Marjorie Bartelli.
Aye. Thank you. We have another.
Since I didn't
Move
get
to
this.
approve
Yeah.
resolution 2302, Lorna Turner, commendation.
I move to approve resolution 2302. I'm sorry, did I? 2302 Lorna Turner commendation.
I'll second.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to read it. Be it resolved that the following is true and accurate. Whereas Lorna Turner has served on the Board of Trustees for the Lisle Library District since 2021, and whereas Lorna Turner has served on the LLD Finance Committee 2021 to 2023 and chaired the committee from 2021 to 2023, and whereas Lorna Turner has served on the LLD Advocacy and Outreach Committee 2021-2023, and whereas Lorna Turner has reliably represented the district's vision, mission, and values, and whereas Lorna Turner has demonstrated support for government transparency, and whereas Lorna Turner has encouraged community engagement, and whereas Lorna Turner has broad village knowledge and demonstrates a strong commitment to volunteerism in the community, and whereas Lorna Turner has enriched our meetings with her financial acumen, reliability, and dedication, therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Lisle Library District that Lorna Turner be commended for her admirable service to the district. This resolution, wait, I don't say that because it hasn't been adopted, right? You can read it. Okay. This resolution has been adopted by the LLD Board of Trustees this 19th day of April 2023.
how can I possibly top what Jenny had done? But, I really appreciate the confidence that you guys saw in me when you named me to the board. Appreciate that. It's been a wonderful 2 years, an amazing experience. I'll go to my grave knowing I was involved in this renovation work. And I've worked with some wonderful people and I've made some wonderful friendships here. I mean, I've met people in this group that I've never, Marjorie excluded, but I've known her for a lot of years. But I've met people that I never would have met otherwise, and I appreciate your friendship and your kindnesses over the last 2 years. That's all. I just appreciate everything you've done.
I move to, roll call. Sorry, can't get the roll call.
Liz Sullivan,
Aye.
Karen Larson,
Aye.
Jenny Norton,
Aye.
Emily Swistak,
Aye.
Lorna Turner,
Aye.
Sarah Wynn,
Aye.
Marjorie Bartelli,
Aye. Thank you. Move to approve resolution 23-03, Sarah Wynn commendation.
I move to approve resolution, sorry, did you want that one, Karen? Sorry.
Karen wanted it.
Index fingered, yes, go for it. By a nose, you had it.
By a nose. Okay, so I start to read.
Yes.
So you have to, well, you have to do the motion, and it has to get seconded, and then you can read.
I move to approve resolution 2303, Sarah Wynn commendation.
Second.
Yay. Be it resolved that the following is true and accurate. Whereas Sarah Wynn has served on the Board of Trustees for the Lisle Library District since July 2021, and whereas Sarah Wynn has served on the Lisle Library District Personnel and Policy Committees 2021 to 2023, and whereas Sarah Wynn has served on the LLD Advocacy and Outreach Committee 2021-2023, and whereas Sarah Wynn has reliably represented the district's vision, mission, and values, and whereas Sarah Wynn has consistently supported and participated in LLD programs, especially for children and families, and whereas Sarah Wynn has encouraged volunteerism within the community at large, and whereas Sarah Wynn has enlightened the LLD Board of Trustees about first responder activities and events, and whereas Sarah Wynn has enhanced our meetings with her graciousness, insight, and advocacy, therefore it be resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Lisle Library District that Sarah Wynn be commended for this exemplary service to the district. This resolution has been adopted by the LLD Board of Trustees this 19th day of April 2023.
Well, it's true. How can we top Jenny? It's pretty much in circles. I loved this. I hate to see this go, but I was here. You guys entrusted me. I'm so glad you took a chance on me. I loved being a part of this. To see the final product is so it's up there with having kids. It really is. It's just I wasn't a part of the first part of it. But to be able to be part of this and work with Mark and work with everybody else of the staff, love the staff here. You guys opened up my eyes and gave me a chance to do this. And kind of like Jenny, it became more than I thought it was going to be, and I would not have it any other way. I appreciate everybody's open-mindedness, and I loved that I can take something from everybody here to change and kind of use now, especially in fundraising, and which I appreciate. I just want to say thank you because I've never felt like part of a family. I really do feel like I was part of a family. It went by really fast, but I so look forward to continuing to advocate for this library in Lisle. I hope to stay in Lisle and hopefully become a first responder in here, but I love what you guys stand for. I love what Lisle stands for and the library, and just thank you. I appreciate it.
Roll call, please.
Karen Larson,
Aye.
Jenny Norton,
Aye.
Liz Sullivan,
Aye.
Emily Swistak,
Aye.
Lorna Turner,
Aye.
Sarah Wynn,
Aye.
Marjorie Bartelli.
Aye. Thank you. I'd like to personally thank Jenny, Lorna, and Sarah for their contributions to the board. You will be missed. We know you will still be active users of the library, and we'll keep in touch, since you live here.
Well, just because you said that.
I also want to say, as board president, I welcome the newly elected trustees, Debbie Brehan, Vanessa Berry, and Joshua Martin, to the LLD Board of Trustees, as well as welcome back to incumbent Karen Larson. The newly elected trustees' terms begin on Monday, May 15th, and the next regular board meeting will be on May 17th. We'll have a new board seated at that meeting, and I look forward to a productive and cooperative relationship with the newly seated board. We'll move to agenda item 4, acknowledges that Secretary Larson and Trustee Turner reviewed the March billings in April, and that President Bartelli and Trustee Sullivan will review the April billings in May. Agenda item 5, a consent agenda. Is there a trustee who wishes to pull something from the consent agenda? If not, may I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
And
I second.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. I second.
Any discussion? Chris?
Karen Larson,
Aye.
Sarah Wynn,
Aye.
Jenny Norton,
Aye.
Liz Sullivan,
Aye.
Emily Swistay,
Aye.
Lorna Turner,
Aye.
Marjorie Bartelli.
Aye, thank you. Item number 6 is unfinished business, 5A, capital improvement project monthly project status report. Mark?
We made it.
Under budget.
Yeah. So obviously there's still some things going on in the building. You can see, I think someone made a comment when we walked in, there's new signage almost every day. There will continue to be some new signage every few days. There's some different things going on right now. You can see actually in the picture in the top left, as of 2 days ago, there were still some metal panels in the south entrance that weren't up. They're up as of right now. Things are starting to flow through the items that we were missing. Essentially what ended up happening is we had substantial completion based on when we got the temporary occupancy. That temporary occupancy happened on 4/7, so that's when all the warranties and everything else would kind of start. And we've got roughly, I think it's somewhere between 30 and 60 days to finish out the project with all of the punch list type activities and final work with Camosi to get all of their work done. That's barring any unforeseen long lead items. I'll give an example would be the lighting controls. You can see all the lights, they're very bright. They're all full bright right now because we are still waiting on a chip that controls the dimming capacity of it. So those types of things that they really don't have any control over. It was supposed to arrive by the end of Q1, and now they're saying Q2. So those types of things might drag, but we have the library open, we got substantial completion, and we're working on a punch list right now. That's really the big thing. The architects have walked through on the majority of the building and gave a whole listing. We walked through with staff, all the staff that are basically here. The whole building got a whole bunch of different items that we're trying to close out right now. Project schedule, we're done. we said last month we were going to be done in terms of reopening on time on that Monday, and the team pulled together to make it happen. I will say kudos to your staff. It would not have happened without them. Just point blank, they really had a condensed time to get everything set up, everything right, from IT staff to department directors, making sure all the workrooms were set up appropriately so their staff can come and start working. Really hats off to them because they were given a challenging situation with certain things coming in later than we had hoped during that 2-week window. So really, your staff did a great job pulling it off. It was more so than the contractors or myself or the architects. It was your staff that made that happen. Just want you guys to all be aware of that. Upcoming activities, signage installation is ongoing. Exterior signs, the monument sign is actually planned for tomorrow. We're hoping that comes in. Only thing I'll say is it's supposed to rain.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to come. We actually have, the whole plan is to have it all installed in one day. We've got inspections already scheduled at the village midday so that they dig everything, they get everything out, they get the inspection done midday, and then they put the new in. That's all predicated on weather.
So if it is thunderstorming tomorrow, then what happens?
We hopefully would then reschedule for Friday. If I can't guarantee that though. We
Right.
don't know what their plan is. I know we have the electrician coming tomorrow too, because
Okay.
it's 2 different parties that come out. Trying to get them all on the same day at the same time is difficult. So fingers crossed. Let's just say it that much. So worst case scenario, you wouldn't have that sign for grand opening, but we're really trying hard, let's put it that way. That's supposed to happen. We obviously have ongoing punch list, closeout, documentation, and final occupancy to be had. So we still have open permit with the village as well. There's final review, final paperwork. They need as-built drawings for things like fire alarm, fire systems. They're all in, they're approved, they're reviewed. It's just they need documentation to close it out. You see the project budget update too. We did come in. We still have about 6 figures left. Sorry, not 6. Yeah, 6 figures of contingency remaining. There are some things in the punch list that might be extras. We're working that with Camosi, things that we wanted to kind of make sure are done right at the end of the project, little touch-ups with different paint that we might want to modify. We're working through that right now to see what actually might be an extra or not. That contingency might come down slightly, but we are, I will say we are going to be on budget for this project. So that's great news. You see the invoices, there's not much to go through there. Those are the standard invoices that you're used to seeing. Change order updates, so all these change orders are already reflected in the project budget update. And we still are holding a little bit of above the line contingency, even besides the $100 and some odd thousand worth of contingency, we're still holding below the line. So on these change orders, let's go through the red ones. We had to replace non-compatible fire alarm devices. They came out with the new fire alarm devices for phase 2 and found out that they wouldn't sync with the old ones. And it was just a compatibility issue with something that was on the wall that was basically the chip in it didn't work with, the old chip didn't work with the new chips. So they had to replace all your old devices with new. I guess the good news is you now have new fire alarm devices, but bad news was we spent almost $9,000 on that. Then we had little things like a vacuum breaker and an existing water heater we had to add. It's a new code. We had to make sure that was done right. We repaired some areas in this is actually an old work that finally the ticket came through, but we had to repair a large crack in the receiving room floor. So that was done months and months ago. They finally gave us a cost for that. The outdoor program plant infills, we had to go and add some different modifications to the plants around the columns and the planter boxes. So that was about $1,100 worth of work. The inspectors came through it. They're part of why we didn't get substantial completion until the 7th. They did come through on time, and everything was, we thought, done on time for the 20th, I want to say, of March, or right around there. But there were some fire alarm devices and things that they wanted changed compared to what was in the shop drawings. So we had to wait for those parts to come in, get installed, and then schedule another inspection, and the inspection came out. So that's what the $2,300 is there. We also had Coney, the elevator. They had to schedule a overtime inspection to get it done in time for your opening. They told us that they weren't going to be able to inspect your elevator to turn it over to owner. Like it was done, but we couldn't turn it over for use until the middle of May if we wouldn't have paid for it to be done after hours. They kind of had a few. Yeah, they hold all the cards there, let's put it that way. So that's still being, that's under review, let's put it that way, along with the other ones that remain under review from last month. And we also had a change order passed our way for extra storage. Kone had it in their contract with Camosi to store the elevator until December 31st. Didn't get installed till later. That's still under review because I'm not sure how where the liability for that falls, let's put it that way. So but again, all of these are already captured in above the line numbers from the last page. So we're still not tapping into overall contingency for those items, if they get approved. That's really it. So going forward, just as a heads up, as long as the directors, assistant directors want me to continue providing a monthly board update in the board, we'll be here as long as you want. We are going to continue supporting and making sure that this thing gets closed out. The paperwork gets done, you get what you paid for. That's really what our goal is right now, to make sure it's closed out appropriately. Whether you want me to take your 5 to 10 minutes at your board meetings is up to you, but we'll make sure we give a report monthly, so that regardless of if I'm here speaking or not, you'll know where things stand. So, but I really appreciate everyone's efforts, everyone's time. You guys did it. It's been over 2 years in the making. I look back to see when we kind of started the original discussions about what to do. Over 2 years, and you've got now a building, I believe, that serves the community much better. Walking into your youth services department is just night and day different compared to what you had. Even your adult services and some of the different spaces, it's just, it feels like a warm, welcoming environment, and I think that's kudos to this team for putting together what you guys had envisioned. So, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to work with you guys too.
Can I ask you a question, Mark? Because
Yeah.
I feel like you want to leave. So.
No, I'm fine. I'm in no hurry. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, so the railing.
Yeah, right, yes.
So what's the plan?
The latest is last week, they brought in outside party or the third-party company in to treat it with a special chemical and try to get it so that the rust doesn't come back. They are saying it is, they're saying it's proven that it's not the actual weld points, it's how they ground down the welds with the pad that wasn't certified for use with that type of metal. All the shards from that pad got put all over the handrail, and those continue rusting and rusting and rusting. So it's actually, I'm glad it rained today because I want to see it in a couple days, because every time it rained, it got infinitely worse. That effort just took place last week. We haven't been able to really see any change yet, so we're going to monitor it for the next couple of weeks. That company did commit to replacing them if this does not work.
Okay, so then that could be, I mean, who knows when that would be.
Yeah,
Okay.
and quite frankly, you have a 1-year warranty for all of the work, but if the work is defective, it's beyond 1 year. If it's not to standards, if it's found to be something that was not in accordance with contract documents, it gets replaced whenever it needs to get replaced. I think the statute of limitations is something like 7 years, or
Okay.
something like that.
I did notice when I was here the other day that there's like, on one part of it, there's like a little bit of like a separation with it, and it's like, it's just not completely smooth. So not on like one of the points where it's together with the post, but like a little bit further out,
Okay.
which just makes me a little nervous. Like, I wasn't holding on to it, but it makes me a little nervous if people are holding on to it, that they could get caught in there. And it's,
Sure.
I mean, it's a negligible.
Is it all the way around? Is it like a
All the
joint?
way around.
It's an actual joint.
Yeah,
Yep.
but not with like a post, it's like
Right.
past it, and it's both levels of it.
Yep. That's probably where they join two pieces together. Take a look at that and have the architects,
Yeah.
when they're coming out, I think again Friday,
Okay.
have them look at that and make sure that it's to contract. And if it is to contract, then we'll look at making
Okay.
it, addressing it as we need.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, good
It's
question.
like, my biggest concern is that, not my
No,
biggest
it's-
concern, but you know what I mean, but that's a big deal, it's
Yeah.
out front, and
Yeah, so,
you see it, and
Well, that's one of the
So-
first things they see.
you see it, yeah.
just so you're aware, not that we need to bring it up, but this is your punch list.
Oh,
So-
my gosh.
Okay.
So we go through it with a fine tooth comb
Okay.
to make sure everything is
okay.
done.
And I just
correctly.
wanna say too, you know, when we started this process, you know, the architects had told us and everything that, and you had, you know, echoed that sentiment that when we walked in here, it would look like a brand new library, and it does.
Good.
It does. It's like walking in and exploring is just so exciting, and then also trying to like picture like, wait, how was this before? You know, like trying to put the pieces together in my brain, like what was this? How was this? And the windows, having the windows without the blinds on the inside, it's so nice and bright, and it's so nice. And these bathrooms here with the brown, and that was really nice too. So, everything's just, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course,
Thank you, Mark.
of course.
I feel like we should have a resolution for you.
I
know.
He's not done yet.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta make sure this is finished right.
So, when you're
Close the
done,
document.
you'll get
Oh,
flowers,
man, yeah.
when you're done, we'll do
Well,
it.
I was honored by the sentiment when you walk in the door, seeing a little name there, so I thank you.
Yeah,
That was
that's
surprising to me, so I was
very
flattered by that. Thank you very much.
And on Saturday, you'll be here, will Graham be here too, or just you?
I'm not sure about Graham. I will be here, yes. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. The plan was for Graham to be here. I'm trying to confirm that right now. But,
Okay.
of course, anything else? I'm not in a rush to leave, by the way, so I can
I
stay.
know, I
I'll
just,
go back there and
no,
spend
I
will.
wasn't trying to insinuate that you were trying to get out, it's just, I know that you had finished your report, and so I didn't.
I'd like to thank you too. You've been so pleasant during this whole
Oh my
process. And we feel like any question we ever asked you, you had it answered before I even finished the question. I mean, you anticipated everything. There wasn't a time, I don't think, we walked out of here with an unanswered question, other than if it didn't pertain to you, you got to have to check with somebody. But really appreciated being on top of it. Years ago, I worked for architects too, so I know what a punch list looks like, and all the things that they go through and that. But I just really appreciate all the efforts you put into this and being so prepared at every meeting. Just so prepared.
Thank you.
Mark's gone above and beyond.
Yeah.
The contract.
And it's nice that you are, a community member as well, so.
Yeah.
We've already been here. My 2-year-old came in the 2 days after, actually the night of it opening.
Yeah.
And it was just so cool to see him walk into the play area. He had a little bit of a meltdown trying to get out of there because he did not want to leave. Those blue blocks, I think some of their staff had
The
picked
blue
out. Oh my
blocks,
gosh,
yeah.
he did not want to leave that.
The sliding down of the cushions. I think we've all had our kids, Karen kids, slide down those cushions. I don't know how long they're going to last with kids sliding down them, but it was great.
Yeah, it's a great library. So I really appreciate all your efforts and your trust in us too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to add that didn't ever lose your patience with us.
Oh, no, you can't.
I think I asked the same question 20 times. And you answered it each time, so I appreciate that.
That's, you got it,
Thank you
yep.
so much, Mark.
I'm glad you guys asked questions. All right, thank you.
Thanks.
See you
Thank
Saturday.
you.
I'll see you Saturday, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
All right.
exciting day.
I know, it is.
Agenda item 7, committee reports. Finance,
No meeting, no report?
personnel and policy.
Okay, so we were going to have a meeting yesterday. We canceled it just because not all committee members could make it. And in the process of the, discussion with Tatiana, when realizing that we weren't gonna be able to have the meeting, I said, really, my biggest thing that I wanted to get done before the new board was seated was the director's evaluation. So that we had worked on the form. I did talk to Tatiana about potentially trying to schedule another personnel policy committee meeting, but then as we were talking, we thought, well, we don't need to do that right now. We don't need to hold another meeting, because we just need the whole board to do the director evaluation. So I printed it back out for myself, the form, so that I would have it to refer to just kind of talk to everyone right now. But what we had in here was that we each would do this form and that it would need to be completed to the president by 48 hours to the executive session discussion that we have to do the director's evaluation. So we haven't set that date. We want it to be before the new board is seated, so before May 15th. Here's the thing for outgoing trustees. If you feel like you don't want to be part of this, we just need 4 people to be at the meeting. We need a quorum to be at the meeting to do this. So if you don't feel like you want to come, don't feel like you have to. We would like you to be there because you've been working with the director and part of this process the whole time. But I don't want you to feel like, well, I finished, I had my last meeting, and now I have to come back to something else. So I'm just putting that out there. We want you there. We want your input. But that's kind of like what we're looking at. So we would need to figure out a time, probably like that first week in May, to do this. And it would just be a special board meeting where we would, convene in public meeting, and then we would go into executive session. We would do the evaluation. We'd return to open session, and then we would set the director's salary, and then that would be that. So that's all I was saying for my personal policy.
Since we're all here.
Since we're all here.
Why don't we take a look at our calendar?
Okay, that sounds good. Yep.
Okay.
Are we thinking of 7 o'clock, or, is that what we're looking at?
I don't know the availability of the meeting room, right? There's that. Are we looking at, like, there's 2 weeks actually in May before the new board is seated, so.
We could do a daytime.
So it kind of depends on, I guess, everyone's availability.
You gotta play Go Fish, there's.
What day of the week is best for people? The day, not the time.
During the day, it's easier for me to come on a Tuesday and Thursday because I don't work on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesday and Thursday.
I work on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. But that's just me. Otherwise, I can do like 12:30 to 2. I'm available on Monday, Wednesday, well, not Wednesday, Monday and Fridays, 12:30 to 2 also before I have to get a kid from school. Though that's me. I don't know how everyone else is.
Should we throw out a date? Thursday the 11th?
Sure, as of right now, I'm fine, but
Thursdays are really bad for me. Depends what time.
Lorna, I'm sorry, did you?
I'm, right now, I'm fine for Thursday, but
Okay.
I don't know, I have everything on my
Sherry?
calendar.
Oh, I'm free.
Could we do an evening?
I'm sorry,
Could we do an evening?
it's up to the chairman here.
Well, no, this is your meeting.
Oh,
This is your meeting. This is.
What, Karen, is the evening better for,
Yeah.
your schedule, you don't know your work schedule. Could we make it somewhat earlier than 7?
Yeah.
Tatiana, how's that work for you?
I'm free, doesn't matter.
6-ish,
Sure.
that would be the 11th.
I have something that ends at 5:30. I have something from 4 to 5:30.
I cannot do the 11th in the
You
evening.
can, okay.
No, I can't do the evening on the 11th.
How about Tuesday, the 9th?
The 9th is fine with me. I don't know about everyone
No.
else.
Not at night. I have a Green Trails board
Okay,
meeting.
and then, and you don't know your schedule, so we can't really.
But then, other evenings too, like Monday evening is
Monday.
fine, the 8th,
Monday,
the 10th, the evening, that's a Wednesday, that evening is
Okay.
fine. So I don't know, what about other people's availability.
I can't do the evening of the 10th, but how about Monday, the 8th for everyone? We're running out of days. Time, 6-ish?
Totally flexible.
Jenny?
I'm not sure. I have something that I might be at from 7 to 9 in Plainfield on that day, but that's not that's not already a hard commitment. But can I just play it the other way? For those trustees who may not be able to make whatever day we select this time so that the show may go on, is there a way, Madam Director, from a legal standpoint, I just don't want to get in trouble here with something that pertains to executive session, would there be a way for a trustee that can't attend that meeting to provide another trustee their feedback without it being of any concern?
I don't think, your form
You're gonna
would already
submit
be
it.
submitted to Marjorie 2 days in advance. So Marjorie would already have all of your ratings and everything, so we would have that information.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's fine.
So, I don't think, looking at it from the standpoint of me, I don't think it's an issue because you'll have already completed this. You just wouldn't be part of the discussion,
Yeah.
but we would have your stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so the day and the time was?
So Monday, May 8th at 6 p.m.
Great.
So it's a special board meeting, right, Tatiana?
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
So what that means then is that we'll get the form sent back out to everyone just to make sure you have the updated correct document to fill out, and we will put in the dates. That it has to be submitted back to Marjorie by, and then the date of our meeting.
We'll send a follow-up email. I'll need to-
Yeah, with everything, the form and all that stuff. Okay,
Okay.
awesome, thanks everyone.
Thank you. 6C, physical plan, any report?
No.
And 6D, advocacy and outreach.
No meeting.
Okay, thank you. Agenda item A, staff report, 8A's, director's report.
Okay, so I'm going to begin with some sad and happy news about a couple of personnel matters. So, after 32 dedicated years of service to the library district, Beth McClellan has decided to retire. Beth has, she's been with the library for, like I said, 32 years. She was hired as assistant director in 2017, and before that, she was the department director of technical services, and even before that, she worked in circulation services. So I thank Beth very much for kindly announcing her retirement early and to remain on task with the renovation until its completion. I'm also grateful that we have her until May 31st, so this is not her last meeting. There will be flowers and things next month, but we have her for another month. She is also training her successor, which brings me to some other news. I'm very happy to announce publicly that Will Savage has been hired as the new assistant director.
Yay.
He has been with the library for almost exactly 9 years. He's fostered a great team in youth services, and he is ready to take on a new role as the assistant director. He's already taken on a few projects. He's balancing a new role as well as currently still in his role as YS director until we can hire his replacement. And my goal is to first have a successful grand opening, and then I will be looking to replace Mr. Will. That's coming down the line, but it's all good news, happy and sad, but again, we have Beth for another month, so great. Okay, so even though we're all geared up for our grand opening, I do want to talk about the closure and the soft open just a little bit. Mark did a great job in applauding the staff. I too applaud our staff just for their energy and their care during the big move from the west side to the east side of the building. It was quite a task. And while we were temporarily closed for this final move, staff worked really hard just to make sure everything was properly shelved and all the tables and desks were properly staffed and prepped. Technology is still an ongoing issue for us. We're hopefully going to button some stuff up before the grand opening. Furniture arranged. It was just a monumental task, and staff was excellent. Every single day brought a change or a decision that needed to be made regarding an area, and just staff were outstanding throughout the whole process. So thank you guys. Our soft open on April 10th was wonderful. Patrons were just in awe of everything when they walked through the doors, the colors, the Lisle. They just loved all the color schemes. We just heard compliment after compliment. We still do. So that was the soft open, and now on to the grand opening. Our ribbon cutting is scheduled for this Saturday, April 22nd at 11 a.m. It's also Earth Day. A special board meeting will happen in this room at 10:45. We will convene the meeting, we'll call roll, opportunity for public comment, and then we will all walk down to probably the lobby, depending on the weather. We'll see what happens. And then at that time, President Bartelli will give a brief speech. And I'll say a couple words for the staff, and then the Chamber of Commerce will provide a very large scissors for President Bartelli to cut the ribbon. That part I like. Okay, that's good. So Mark, as he mentioned, will be here. A representative from Camosi will be here, and a representative or two from Shea Nickel Hartree will be here as well. And we sent approximately 200 hand-signed letters to Front Street and Kingston Avenue residents, since they're our neighbors. All of the Lisle Women's Club, thank you Liz for the addresses, all the Lisle donors, and other community organizations around town. So hopefully we have a big turnout. We were just recently promoted in the Daily Herald. There's a nice article out there, the patch, and then we've just been pushing social media on all platforms. So I think we're gonna get a good crowd. Our theme is Grow With Us, and in front of you, you should have a little seed packet on the front and the back. We're gonna have a sunflower theme throughout the library, fresh sunflowers on the public desks. You can pass this little guy around. We're gonna have little giveaways of sunflower packets. We're gonna have soft pretzels. We'll have sunflower lollipops for the kids, and we'll have a giveaway, well, a prize drawing. Everybody who walks in will get a ticket, and then President Bartelli will draw the winning ticket at noon, and we'll make an announcement for the $175 valued gift basket. So that should go well. And also, down in youth services, if you didn't notice, on the cork board that separates the teen room from the YS department, District 202 is exhibiting their art contest that was put on by the Lisle Women's Club, and I believe on the same day that we have our grand opening, the Lisle Women's Club will put the winning ribbon on the grand prize winner. So that's all exciting. And then this meeting room that you are in will feature photos from the library's past, present, and end of the renovation. So we'll have a bunch of things on the wall here and have some seating in here as well. So this room will be open. Gallery 77 already has the work of Ellen Ratzel, and she was able to install her exhibit early enough for the grand opening, and she will be down there for 2 months. And then the public monitors, if you haven't noticed, you probably haven't made your way down to the admin office today, but all of the public monitors in the building will have a rotating slideshow that will have photographs from our groundbreaking all the way through the renovation. So if you want to see a sample, you can walk down to the admin office. There's a public monitor down there that has got the slideshow on it, but each one will have that. Fingers crossed, right, Chris?
So like the one that's by like the south entrance, that one will have that up too?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on from the grand opening to other events. There's just like so many events we're doing. The library will also host an unveiling of a Lisle's community window cling on Saturday, May 20th at 11 a.m. Family members of Joy Morton, Carolyn Nally, Martha Sheeger, and Hank Van Kampen have been invited to the ceremony. We'll also do promotional activities very similar to what we're doing for the grand opening around town, just so we garner a lot of interest in coming to this unveiling. The Lisle Warhol Committee chose the library as the location because we have this lovely venue now, and we have a large picture window up on the south side of our building, which the window cling will fit perfectly. I, along with Beth Lesniak of Shiny Squirrel Art Studios, Chris Fry of Pulse Studio, and village manager Eric Ertmode, we will read brief biographies of the 4 honorees. We'll have, I'll mention a couple of things about the library and the renovation. We'll have a smattering of refreshments. We will also have booklets for attendees that honor the people in the cling. We'll have displays around the library about Warhol and pop art. And we will also give tours of the building for people who come. And everyone will be able to participate in a village-wide program for discounts at local businesses. If you take a selfie at our window cling on the south side, and you show the selfie at a participating business, you can receive a discount. And right now I'm gathering all of the information for all the discounts, and then we'll have that information on promotional flyers and things like that for the event. So that's still in the works, but that's a fun thing. And we're also going to be holding a variety of programs, Warhol related, pop art related, for kids, teens, and adults. I'm not going to go over them all now, but they'll be all available on our calendar of events. So you can go to lislelibrary.org to check on those details. And then just a couple more things that don't appear in my report. I want to brag on staff just a little bit more. Laura Murph, Director of Technical Services, was awarded a scholarship to attend IUG, that is the Innovative Users Group. It's a conference in Phoenix, Arizona. It's worth about $2,000. So we congratulate her. Innovative is a parent company of Polaris, and that's our catalog, our system here. And she put in for the scholarship, and the conference will highlight a lot of new developments in Polaris, and she'll have some meet and greets with some vendors. And they only offer 10 scholarships nationwide, and she was one of them. So we congratulate her. This will be her first IUG conference, and we just congratulate her for that. And then lastly, I just wanted to say it's been a pleasure working with the outgoing trustees. I always view my job as trying to make your job easier, trying to make your job, or understanding that your job is a volunteer job, and hoping that I give you the information you need to make the best decisions for the library. So I just wanted to thank you for supporting the project and supporting the library in general, and also supporting the staff. So thank you. That's my report.
Have we gotten, I assume, a response from the honorees, or families are attending? Every one of them?
Yes, at least, we have somebody coming, I think, from Iowa. Unsure of Joy Morton family members, but I think everybody else, yes.
Good.
Question about the discounts at the businesses. Are they just downtown businesses, or
It's
is-
everywhere.
Oh, good.
Yes, yeah. And we, again, still gathering the information of who wants to participate in that.
Everybody's been given the opportunity. Not everybody has responded to it. So we're thinking too, because I'm on the Warhol Committee too, that when you send yours in, all of a sudden you're going to want to send yours in. So it's going to be kind of we're gonna
Maybe.
ramp,
Snow-
yeah.
snowball.
Yeah, it's gonna be a snowball effect, yes, that, well, how come hers isn't and mine's not? Because you haven't responded, so it's up to the businesses to respond and say what the discounts are gonna be, and we'll go from there.
I know some business owners who are not downtown, and from time to time, they say, well, how come everything includes downtown businesses, but they don't include us? So this is great to hear that they're having an opportunity to participate. If they choose not to, you
That's
know,
on them.
that's on them.
Well, and some of those businesses are on the Warhol committee, because there are a few Ogden businesses that are in the committee.
And that's great.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Tatiana?
I just have a few updates since my written report. So Bear Landscaping planted a variety of perennial plants, shrubs, and grasses on the east side around the new outdoor area. And staff, I'm pointing, and staff will be watering, and of course it rained tonight, so we didn't have to water. But I think they've got just a couple more things to do, and there's, are they still doing some annuals? Some color plants are gonna go in once the temperature, we don't have to worry about freezing, so that'll happen. HVAC filters, those were changed after construction. As Mark said, that's like, almost like a punch list thing to make sure we take care of and get the dust out of the, put fresh filters in. Tree trimming, we're going to have some work done very soon on the east parking lot and south parking lot where the trees overhang the parking lot. We're gonna take care of that. We're checking out, taking pictures of what trees need to have some trimming done, so those are activities. Right.
Recently, yeah.
And that's it.
Are we doing any additional landscaping on the south side?
Yes, we
I know
are.
you cleaned,
And
it looks
Mark
great,
thought
but-
that some of it was done maybe today.
Oh,
We have to
okay.
go out and look at it in the light of day. But yes, as he said, that is scheduled. It's a different landscaper. That was part of the Camosi project, and Bear was
Oh.
part of our schedule.
And were we able to salvage the peony plants?
Yes, and they are coming up.
They're so
They're along the rock at the Front Street entrance.
beautiful. Okay,
And I checked, they are coming up, so
Oh, good.
the transplanting worked.
Good.
wonderful, good.
So Beth, what do you think? You've been at this library for a lot of time, and now you can see the building, right, with all the clean out. What do you think of the landscaping?
Oh, the landscaping? Oh, it's fun. And, you know, just to see the variety of the plants that, you know, now that you see them, it's like going to the garden center. You want that in your home, so.
Anyone else for Beth? Thank you. Item 9 is new business. 9A, announcement for request for proposal for library cleaning services. Per statute, the Lisle Library District requests proposals for cleaning services. Information is available via lislibrary.org under the About Us tab and by clicking on the financial information link. 9B, draft working budget for fiscal year 23-24. This agenda item is for discussion only. The board will have another opportunity for questions and/or changes at the May board meeting as well. We anticipate passing the working budget in May. The LLD fiscal year begins July 1st. Director Weinstein, would you please walk us through the budget?
I will. So within the packet is the draft of the 23-24 working budget, which covers all of our expenses and revenue categories for the library. There's also an introductory summary that precedes the spreadsheets with all the numbers. The administration is consulted with all the department managers and regarding their department requests. We used our outsourced financial advisors and other outsourced professionals such as Lisle and our auditors. And they've reviewed the information and provided their recommendations within this proposal. So I'd like to start with the expense categories first. I'll briefly walk us through each category, and the details in the summary I'm sure you've already read. So as you know, salaries and healthcare benefits represent the largest budgeted and actual expenditure in our corporate fund. We show that salaries alone will comprise 49.5% of the total budgeted expenses. Salaries plus benefits will comprise 62% of the budgeted expenses, and this is well below the 60-70 split as referenced within the ILA standards. So in sum, our employee costs will remain flat as compared to last year, and this is primarily due to just restructuring with staff. There have been some retirements, and we had a reduction in our IMRF expenditures, so we have a flat budget for employee expenses. Moving on to building costs, these include all our utilities, maintenance contracts such as landscaping and HVAC, rubbish removal, phone systems, non-contractual building repair work, and this line item just shows a modest increase. And then under operating, these costs include the postage. We use printing, banking fees, and processing, and the operating cost line shows an increase, and this is primarily due to paper costs because they've gone through the roof. All of our paper products are high.
I was gonna ask you that question because you've mentioned it several times throughout expenses, paper costs going up.
Yeah.
It's that significant.
Yeah, even like tissue.
Toilet paper.
Tissue, toilet paper.
Seriously.
Writing paper, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Under insurance, these costs include bonding every 2 years for the notary, our property damage costs, workers' comp. This category shows an increase for the recommendation of our risk agency, LIRA, and just a reminder that this is all on a calendar year versus a fiscal year. So that's an increase of 7%. Under contractual, these include our attorney fees, audits, investment fees, outsourced IT services and payroll changes. There are increases on this line due to IT cybersecurity requirements. So that's why that's a little higher. Under personnel development, this is our trustee and staff dues, conference attendance, continuing ed, and we show a modest increase here for those purposes. And then under equipment, this includes our Polaris database, technology purchases, and then minor repairs. We are budgeting some inflationary increases here. There is a potential enhancement for Polaris, and I'll have more information at our May meeting, but this is kind of a software overlay for Polaris that makes it easier for the user. That's got like a quick visual of what it looks like. So if you're searching our catalog, it kind of looks like this, where there are chunks of information if you search a title. And we'll have a pass out at the next meeting. And then if you use this overlay product, it just shows you all of the formats in one fell swoop. It is not inexpensive. So there is an increase built in here, and we'll have more detail at our meeting for this if we want to include it. Question?
I don't know if this is possible or not, but, and I don't know how Polaris integrates with Overdrive. But what ends up happening is when you migrate to Libby, you lose the ability to recommend the purchase of a book. If you use Overdrive, you can recommend purchasing an audiobook. When you go through Libby, you cannot recommend the purchase of a book. And again, this is the consortium purchasing a book. And so, hopes of hope, and I know hope springs eternal, it would be great as part of the Polaris overlay, since it's going to have multiple media formats, it would be great if they could bring that back. So if you would like to recommend purchase of that book, and that looks like crawdads. Okay. Like, let's say I wanted to recommend it, it would be nice, as an audiobook, it would be nice if I could do it through that right there.
I don't wanna burst your bubble, but I don't think that overlay will be able to help you. I think it would be a overdrive / Libby enhancement versus
Okay.
this.
Okay.
But again, and I can't quote you how much this would cost us, I will have that information next go around, and we can either subtract or keep that built into this budget item. And then also under this equipment cost, our IT manager has also budgeted to replace all the instructional laptops for the classes that we hold here. Under library materials, these costs include all our physical materials, our digital content, and our interlibrary loan costs, and then we just show a 3% inflationary increase here. Under programs, this includes all of our programs, our community relations costs, our supplies for these activities, and we hope with our newly renovated library, we anticipate a lot more robust programming and more patron participation. So you see an increase there. And then our contingency, that just stays the same every year. We keep that flat. Under restricted, these expenses include Illinois per capita grant proceeds, other grants, should we receive them, gifts, our debt repayment, and then transfers to special reserve. So the total budgeted restricted costs without the transfer to special reserve show a decrease of 7%. And this is a budget to budget decrease because last year we had a defined Lightzilla fundraising project that was outlined for these restricted expenditures. We don't have anything that's been defined as of yet. So that's why there's a decrease. The transfer to special reserve shows a suggested 100% increase to save for future capital projects, such as it could be roof replacement or it could be other opportunities for the vacant lots. That's just up for discussion if we want to do that. So that does show an increase in that line. Under special reserve, these expenses include capital improvement projects and facility enhancements, as you all very well know. This category shows a marked decrease due to the completion of the renovation. It does include potential for any outstanding invoices for the project, and I know Mark will hone this number more for us unless he's already spoken to you about them.
Yes, I mean, he just said the outside, way outside, as if we stopped receiving invoices in the next couple of months from, and that we got paid after we started the new fiscal year. So it won't be $1 million, but just in case, we put it in the budget.
Yeah, and we can adjust that more after we talk to Kamosi and Mark in the next month before we have another discussion in May. So
Would the contingency have any bearing on that? No, you don't.
It's
mean-
just if, the bills should all be in by June board meeting, but let's say they're not.
yeah, and we have to pay
Just-
them out of the next fiscal year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we will probably reduce that number for May. Also budgeted is to replace the HVAC software with a new product. We've talked about this for many, many years. We have a proprietary software, HVAC software product. We've used 2 different companies for many, many years. And so we are looking at replacing that product. So we will have better numbers on that in May. We're looking to possibly install an outdoor book locker and to plan for some consulting work, possibly, dependent on board direction regarding the vacant lots. So we built in some consulting work there. If we approve this budget where we show that we have anticipated expenses for special reserve, we will then, the board will then have to revise its special reserve ordinance. But that's down the line. Next are the revenue categories. Under corporate, the tax levy was increased per the renovation project plan. It was actually half of the CPI that was listed for the year. Personal property replacement taxes have increased significantly, or at least that's what.
Trend.
Yes, that's what we were told. And the district population has also increased from 28.5 to 30,281. Also has a rising EAV. And our interest income has exceeded the expectations of our financial advisors from last year, so that's a good thing. So these factors all contribute to an increase in our revenue. The IMRF fund shows a significant decrease, primarily due to the decrease in the levy. We did not ask for more money because we do have a very healthy balance. We've had some staffing changes and the LLD is fully funded. We do not need to fund this line for the next year. The FICA fund remains essentially flat with a negligible increase. This increase aligns with Social Security and Medicare rates that have been issued to us. And then under special reserve, it shows an increase due to budgeting more for gained interest and for transferring additional funds for future projects. So again, all up for discussion. So just to recap, the library shows a reasonable, I think, 3% increase in expenditures for fiscal year 23-24. This increase accounts for inflation, staffing changes, technology, capital project opportunities down the line, and some flexibility for future operational or service needs. So budget to budget, that amounts to about $150,000. And then under revenues, we show a budgeted 6% increase in revenue. Our financial advisors and outsourced professionals have provided these recommendations, and also the county makes determinations for us to budget for the revenue here. So budget to budget, it's about $250,000. And that's the nutshell. Again, we will have more information for you in May. If you have any questions now, I can do my best to answer them, or if you have any questions between now and May, feel free to email and we can pull that information for you. Any questions?
I won't be here next month to provide feedback, but just with my financial brain here in its last regular meeting, I wanted to say thank you for the working budget and the great detail, and we love the summary. I know we all appreciate how that elevates our understanding of the line items by really providing a link at a higher level and discussion. And I know this is kind of in my mind, a totally different animal now, because we're in a post-renovation period, and we're in a high CPI inflationary world period, and as we know, the major operating cost of the library is personnel, right? The people costs. So, and people need to, they need to be able to pay their bills in a rising inflation environment. So, all that said, I know we strive very much to keep things tight, and so when we see increases on both the expense and revenue side, I know it's prudent to continue to fund the special reserve to a certain level, and so when when you guys come to that conversation next month, think about what the expected, so things to maybe have ready at the ready for the meeting is what the special reserve balance is at the end of all the renovation costs, so you know what that is. Go back to the Jack Hayes, what was the name of the company that he worked for? FQC, thank you, sorry, his name showed up first before the name of the organization. The FQC report for the quote for the roof and any other costs that were not yet addressed that are now in the 3 to 5 year window that used to be in the 8 to 12 year window, and line that up with what the special reserve is, and see if you need to be more aggressive or can be less aggressive in funding the special reserve. So that's one major point I would make there, and then just I definitely do not want to undervalue investments in technology, and I know technology is something that we talk about. We're 21st century now, and more investment needs to be in that direction as opposed to brick and mortar concepts. But the technology costs are a significant portion of the increase, and I don't know to what extent there's a incremental possibility within that budget. So if the line items, Polaris and Tech, are going up almost 70K. Is there a way to make that project a little bit this next fiscal year and then a little bit the following, or is it really all or nothing? Is there any other way to save along the way with, just alternate thoughts? So there's people who campaigned for these positions talking about championing things in tech, so hopefully they will bring those ideas to the table as far as that line item. I don't want to get any more nitty gritty than that. I might just, send a message out with any other ancillary comments, but that's the spirit of what I'm looking at when I'm looking at these, is I'm trying to say, okay, we sort of make an implicit promise to our stakeholders, both on the patron serving side and on the taxpayer side, that we're gonna do right by everyone to invest in this library, but be very diligent on the prudent side as well. So all that said, just wanna make sure that we kick the tires on these line items so that we can try to make sure we're doing our best.
Well, we might have to retain you as a consultant.
I'm not far away.
Thanks, Tim. Any other questions? Great, we'll move to 9C. That acknowledges payment of earned and unused vacation time as required by the Illinois Wage Payment and Collection Act, 820 ILCS 115/5, of a payment that shall not exceed $3,139.64 to LLD employee Taylor Habal. Okay. And then item number 10, opportunity for trustee comments. Why don't we go alphabetical? That's okay with everybody. I'd like to thank the department heads for their quarterly reports. I probably learn more in the quarterly reports because I'm not here every day and I get to understand what they've been doing. But it's very, very helpful to me. Let's see, of course, looking forward to the grand opening, can't wait. Somebody else wants to make the speech, they're more than welcome.
No, that's you.
And the Daily Herald article was really cool. I had seen another article in another library, the new one in Lombard, and I was almost going to contact the gentleman that I know at the Daily Herald and say, hey, what about us? And look what happened.
I think their grand opening is the same day as ours.
It is, but I was like, hey, what about us? So now we have our own, so that's great. That's all I have. Trustee Larson?
Wow. I am truly gonna miss Lorna and Sarah and Jenny. It's been fun. Excited for Saturday and, all the good things that are coming up. So, yeah, it's been interesting times.
Thank you. Mayor Norton?
Thank you. Oh, I think that's the last time we'll hear that, isn't it? Thanks for making that a good one. I don't have any additional comments except that I think this was kismet, that I was given the yellow one. If anyone knows what that means. If you're not sure, look at the floor in youth services that didn't happen. Mic drop. Just thank you again.
Trustee Sullivan?
Couple of things. I too read all the quarterly reports, so thank you very much. As a matter of fact, I was wondering if in circulation, if we could possibly put a chart in there for the number of license renewal stickers, just to show kind of like, this quarter we sold this many and this quarter we sold this many. Because they do put how many they sold, but I can't remember how many they sold last quarter.
Okay.
So if you don't mind doing that, that would be great.
Sure.
And then, I'm sure you're already thinking about this, but if we could send like a thank you note to the Park District for letting us meet there for all those many times, and maybe the police station?
Police department.
We
We
met
did
there.
Park District once,
them,
but
yeah.
police station was every other time.
You're
Okay,
thinking of
I'm
women's
totally
club.
confused because I meet with another group at the Park District. Okay, so it's more the police station that we met.
We think.
We did.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
on our
great,
social media
great.
too.
Yeah, it's also in our slideshow that
Right.
will be around the building.
Okay, great. So, my mistake. But thank you, the three of you.
We're still alive after this meeting. I just want to remind everyone, I'm planning on still breathing, being here,
There's
being
no crying.
on the earthly. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Tom Hanks. Yeah.
Are you finished?
Yes.
That's it.
No, she is finished.
Vice President
Okay.
Swistek.
My turn. I just wanted to, so I'm really excited about Saturday. I've been talking it up at the preschool, the Park District preschool, and so a lot of the preschoolers are telling their parents they have to come on Saturday, so we'll see, hopefully we'll see. Just a lot of excitement about, coming in, and really, every time coming in here has just been met with more excitement for me and for my family. You saw my 10-year-old come in because since he's been here and sees all the workspaces, he now wants to come and work on his homework here. So he's asking to come more and to do that. So that's exciting. I also was really impressed the first time that one of my children checked out a video game and we were able to unlock it ourselves, and the game is inside the case. You don't have to get it from behind circulation anymore. And that was like, wait, what? It's in here and we can unlock it ourselves. So that was exciting. So doing the self-checkout and everything. So that's been fun. And I did mention earlier, Mark mentioned it too, but every time coming in and seeing new signs posted around the library has been very exciting too. Like, oh wait, I never saw that one outside the building before with the address and the hours and stuff. That one's really exciting. And then, then just all the new ones that are up. So it's just been fun to see that. So I'm really looking forward to Saturday. Seeing the pictures, especially, with the picture from the Daily Herald, again, seeing all of us with the hard hats on and the shovels, it's just, look how far we've come. Like looking back to that day, and then here we are now, going to be doing the ribbon cutting on Saturday. It's just really exciting. And it just feels like such a tremendous thing to have been a part of. And our names are on a plaque in the entrance, which is really cool. And just looking forward to sharing in that with all of you on Saturday morning. I think that's going to be a really neat experience. And I wanted to thank Jenny and Lorna and Sarah for being part of this board. Jenny for 4 years and for keeping me on my toes, and Sarah and Lorna for putting yourselves out there, that you were interested in being appointed to the board and going through that process. You're really, really pleased with, who we ended up with. So thank you for all of that you did as well. That's it, I'm done. You probably should have done the timer for me, I thought.
Trustee Turner?
I think we should have Jenny write your speech first. I nominate Jenny to write the speech. Again, it's been an exciting 2 years. Really blessed to have been a part of all of this. But I especially want to thank the staff. I've gotten to know each of them personally, which never would have happened if I wasn't a trustee. And they've been so pleasant and so helpful and just go out of their way. I mean, the last several months as you walk in, there's been a couple of, can I help you? What are you looking for? And so it happens over and over again. And when you do ask the question, they're incredibly pleasant and upbeat. And I don't know if they're just excited about the whole renovation. They've got a new workspace to work in or what. But they just came across so positive, and it was really a great experience for me. So that stands out for me, how getting to know the staff more and just their whole approach and attitude towards the library. So thumbs up there.
Thank you. Trustee Quinn?
Yeah, just like everybody else, I'm so looking forward to Saturday. It's going to be so exciting. Again, thank you to everybody here. Thank you to the staff. Everybody's amazing. Good luck to those coming in. It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a whole new kind of era, because now it's like you guys said, I mean, the renovation is done, and now it's to finish and see what else can come up. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what else the library is going to do from here on out. So looking forward to it.
Thank you. All righty, item number 10.
I move to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
Oh, man.
8:21.